All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. This is our weekly public speaking training call where we pull back the curtains and we talk about public speaking and how to do it, how to use it, where to go, and what to talk about. Today, though, because it is the very end of December and the beginning of 2021, we're going to talk about your speaker vision and your goals for speaking. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not set those speaker goals, you will not attract those speaking engagements. And if you don't attract those speaking engagements, then you're not going to have any place to speak. And if you don't have any place to speak, you're going to get rusty and you're not going to get clients that are rightfully yours, nor are you going to help people that need your help. So that's why it's so important for you to set those goals, because goals act like a magnet. Goals act like a magnet. And I know you're like, goals, I've heard it. Nah, 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 nah. Well, I don't care if you set any goals at all for your business, except for the speaking goals, right? That's the only one I care about. And that's the only one that we're going to talk about here because it works. It works, it works, it works. So I want all of you to get out a piece of paper, maybe except for Karen, because she's she's walking. All right. And Karen, refresh us where you're zooming in from. I know you're in another state.
I am zooming in from Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Look out, Kansas City. Here we come.
And how cold is it there? Because you're in your garage because you want to stay warm. How cold
is it? It is 31. I love that. Like, how cold is it? Let me tell you. It is. I'll play that game. It is 31 degrees. And Jean, you had some snow up in your area too. Yeah. We had snow and ice today, and it was mostly ice. So yucky. I stayed and worked from home today, which was great. Thank you, COVID, for teaching us how to work from home and speak from home. So I had a presentation earlier today, and I was glad that I had my backdrop and everything ready. So
good, yay!
That's Kansas City.
So Jean, how cold is it in Iowa?
Is 20. It's going for 6 hours.
It's what?
It's been snowing for about 6 hours, so it's 23 degrees.
23. So, she's got you beat, Karen. Ooh. All right.
She can have it. She can have it.
Hey, everybody. Let's say hi to Janine. Remember, Janine usually has her camera off. So, yay, we get to see Janine today. Yay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right. So, everybody.
Karen, I'm just down the road from you in Lawrence.
Oh, in where?
Lawrence, Kansas, and she's in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, that's just down the road, and I'll soon be in Topeka. I got a VP role in Topeka, so I'll be traveling and doing more presentations. So I'm excited to be here and look forward to 2021, and let's set some goals, man.
My gosh, you'll be driving through past Lawrence to go to Topeka. That's interesting. Anyway.
Awesome. Okay. Well, none of us expected, of course, to stay in this virtual world this long, but it has been, 9 months now? And we're not going to leave anywhere soon. And it's estimated like live events will not be with hundreds and more until 2023, but I think it could be even further. And part of that is because I think people are starting to get accustomed to this kind of environment and even liking it, right? How many of you kind of are getting used to this and you're liking it? I know, me too. I can go to far more events. I can speak all over the world without paying for the expense for travel. Now, all of you know I've spoke a lot of places around the world, and I know Dr. Renee has too, but it came with a price, right? They'll let you come speak, but oftentimes you have to pay to get there, right? Right, Dr. Renee? So it sounds all glamorous, but it can be very expensive as well. So now with this kind of environment, we have doors opened up to us that we haven't had before. So now when we set our goals, we can also set goals, not only how many speaking engagements we want, but we can set goals for where are they? Now, what kind of countries do you want to speak at, right? Where do you want to go to speak and be that international speaker? So let's, when we set these goals, let's set some higher goals. Now I'm going to turn on my little document, but of course not without my gloves, right? And why do we wear Zoom gloves when we use the Documate? Why?
For added glamour.
Oh, I love that added glamour. Yes, that's exactly it.
Because you know why? Because that's cool, RV.
That's right.
That's cool.
Because things under the magnifying glass might not look as pretty when they're magnified. So, all right. So I'm going to turn this on now. I want everybody to get out a piece of paper and we're going to go through this. Now, if you saw another webinar that's happening at 5:30, I'm doing the same thing with a general group, but I want to, do it with you first and not only try it out, but just do a more intimate training with you. So, hi, Jason. I didn't say hi. How was your Christmas? Good?
Fabulous. Absolutely
Awesome.
fabulous. Thank you.
Good. Yay. All right. Super. All right. So I'm going to turn on the Documate camera here after I share my screen. I'm going to share. All right. So everybody should see this, right? Everybody see it so far? So good? Okay. Everybody see that, right?
Yes.
All right. So this is the start. Now this plan, I don't know if you could see it, but look at how many pages it is. All right. Yours does not have to be that long. This plan for me is my 7-year strategy / exit plan. Got it?
Got it.
7 years, I figure it is good. 9 felt too long. 5 felt too short. So I decided within 7 years, I'm going to have my legacy program and teach people how to teach my stuff. That's my goal in 7 years. So I have to work backwards in order to come up with that plan, right? So I want all of you to be thinking about when is your end game. I mean, you don't want to go on and on and on for another 40 years, right? Let's have an end game so that you can make not only the most of the next several years, but so that you can make sure you end up where you want to end up. So like I say, 7 years, and then all I'm going to be doing is teaching my legacy program, and I'm going to have those students, which Jason is one of them, I'm going to have them do the teaching for me, right? As I kind of semi-retire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is going to be a little bit longer, of course, than yours. And I've been working on mine for several months now. But here's what beautiful things came out of it. So let's just take like January. Let's just go to January for a moment. All right. So I decided in 1 year, how many podcasts was I going to do? I was going to do four per month. So 4 times 12 months, that's 48 podcasts that I'm going to do. And then I separated them all, right? And I said, I'm going to do 2 interviews and 2 training, right? Okay. I'm going to do my passionately speaking weekly. All right. So that's 4 per month. That's 8 speaking engagements. Do you see how I'm getting that?
Mm-hmm.
But see, you can't just take it for granted. So 4 podcasts is 4 speaking. Then once a week, passionately speaking, that's 4. Right? Now, also what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak my book on Audible. Right? Now, so I was going to do this in December. But guess what? I started doing research on what I needed to do to make it happen. Dr. Renee, of course, you could do this. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye, ladies and gentlemen. So I took December and learning about how to do it. I'm taking training classes right now. I'm going to submit a sample. You have to go in your closet to record it because you need all that muffled sound, right? You can't be in a
Echoey.
echo. Thank you, echo chamber. So
You're
thank God
welcome.
I have a walk-in closet that I can go into. I've already got it all ready to take my, to set it up. So there's a lot to it. So originally I put start the project here, which is just the training, because it was a lot more than I could bite off in December, especially being sick. I was going to have my video day yesterday, but that didn't happen. I'm doing some corporate training. That didn't happen. Not only was I sick, but because it rained, if you remember, all day yesterday here, and we needed the light. Okay. All right. So let's come back down here. So put down exactly what you want to do. So January, I'll be on Audible. I've got 4 blogs per month that I'm doing. Right? I've got that in the bag. I've got a girl helping me, so I don't have to do all the writing. We get together once a month. I talk, she writes, and then later I edit and it's done. Right? It's really cool. Now, also, however much coaching that you want, per month, classes, mini courses, that kind of thing. So if we added up all the speeches, all I'm concerned with you right now are the speeches. So if we say 4 podcasts, 4 passionately speaking, right? That's 8, right? And then at least 2 per month to sell and 2 per month that aren't selling, right? So that is, that's 12 speaking engagements per month. Now, so I did that 12 speaking. Now, if you look, I did that. I took that same thing and I put it on every single month. And some months like June, I've got a 1-day event and I already put down the date. I put a 1-day event here in March. So not only is that an extra speaking engagement, right? So that month there's 13, but that's not counting any other people's podcasts that I'm going to be on. So now I got to come back and I've got to put an estimate on other people's podcasts. Now, why is that important? Because if I didn't, I'm not going to go for them. I'm not going to go after them. Now, if you figure I'm doing at least 2 podcast interviews, and if I play my cards right, I should interview people that have a podcast, right? So now I've just leveraged it instead of just doing anybody that doesn't have a podcast. So when you have a podcast, now a lot of you don't have a podcast yet, but I would like to encourage you to get a podcast, to create a podcast, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But right now, let's just put our speaking engagements down there, okay? So get out that piece of paper. I'm going to stop this for a moment. I'm going to stop my share and go ahead and write down the speaking engagements that you're going to commit to. What doesn't get written doesn't get done. But now, let me share with you something about the podcast. I've had podcasts for years. I had a Christian podcast. And then I started this podcast several months ago, the $1 Million Speaker podcast, but I wasn't really motivated, right? It was just like, whenever I feel like it, I'll do it. Or if anybody comes along with an interview, I'll do it, right? Now that I have this plan in place, and I decided that I was going to do all my podcasts one morning on the 2nd Wednesday of the month. Now, guess what? Guess what happened? All of a sudden, not only am I motivated, but now I know exactly when I'm going to do it. I've scheduled it in my calendar. Now, when I ask people to be on my podcast, they've got 3 times available on the 2nd Wednesday of every month. 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Boom. I'm done. right? And the other time will be for me. So it's amazing what happens. It's amazing. Something I've been plugging along with, and not really motivated. All of a sudden, I'm highly motivated because it's written down and it's scheduled. And now I know exactly what to do. Got it?
Got it.
And then I have a team of people that are putting it up for me. Now, I used to do it myself. Yeah, you could do it yourself, but I wanted to level up this year. I was tired of just doing everything makeshift and everything is as good as I could make it, right? And spending the time. So I hired a team. They leveled it up, man. I love my podcast now. They put little excerpts in the beginning. I've got better music. I mean, I'm excited. All I have to do is show up, perform, interview, and then let them have it. And they set it out and schedule it every single week. And I don't have to do anything except do it one time. It's the beauty.
About what does that cost, Arvee?
I pay $500 a month.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but hey, I've been doing my own forever. Ever. So if you want to level up and buy some of your own time back, that's the way to do it. Same with blogs. I was trying to do my own blog. I never got around to it. I never
Arvee,
could do it.
on the blogs, is that also 500 or is that included in that 500?
Oh no, these are two separate companies.
Okay, so the
separate
500 for the video, for the podcast, I have to know what the distinction is between a podcast and a webinar because I do 4 of them a week. And so, because I want to change it where we could put music to it, just like what you said, instead of taking Jim's time away to hire a professional, I have the content. I have the background, because I'm in different environments, but it's not a make-believe background. And I want to add, music and some sort of introduction.
Yeah.
And a close.
Well, a podcast and a webinar are 2 separate things. So a podcast is actually audio only. Now you can record it in Zoom and put it up on YouTube if you want, but ideally it's audio only and it goes on special sites and you link the RSS feed, you link it to iTunes, to iHeartRadio, to Spotify, where webinars, you don't do any of that too. You might put it up to YouTube and that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is this a webinar? Are we on a webinar right now?
Well, this is a meeting, but yeah, otherwise, yes, you could call this a webinar.
Where you see everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Got it.
technically meetings, you see everybody. Technically webinars, you don't see anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So now there's a couple of places that you can go to create your own podcast. Now I use Podbean. Now Podbean, PODBEAN.com, easy to use, easy breezy. But there's a new one out there that people are using right from their phone and it's free and it's called Anchor, ACHOR, whatever Anchor is. And it's free and you can do it right from your phone as well as you can do it from your PC. All right. So check that out. Anchor.com. I've already been on Podbean for years, so it was too late for me. But especially if you're starting out, it's a great venue to practice and to see if you want to do a podcast. Why would you want to do a podcast? Leverage. All right, leverage. Now, you interview people with a podcast, ask to be on their podcast, right? That's how I leverage mine all the time. Do you have a podcast? Great. Unless I really want that guest, of course. I mean, I've interviewed lots of people that don't have a podcast, but it's leverage to get you more speaking engagement. And I've had people that I just met a really cool gal the other day because she heard me on somebody else's podcast. right? And it was some guy from some other country. I could hardly understand him. And I thought, well, this isn't going anywhere, right? And now she's going to be on my podcast and I'm going to be on her podcast. So the beauty of podcasts is they're not evasive, right? People can go along their business and listen to a podcast like Karen on the machine, and you could stop it and start it, and it's not invasive. Or sometimes like meetings are, videos are, you have to stop, you have to sit, you have to listen, you can't multitask. So podcasts have really become more popular than ever, and they've been around as long as I've been in business, but they've gained popularity. Okay, so that's a little bit about the podcast. Other than that, you need to set goals for speaking engagements, and then I also want you to level that up and share, think about where do you want to speak. So this is my first level, and I didn't put in different places that I want to speak. But I want you to take it one step further and do that. Okay, one step further and do that. This next year, I'm speaking at the National Speakers Association, which was, some place that I didn't even think that I could, not being a member of the Speakers Association. So that was very cool. Actually, it was that guy that taught me that trick, Karen, about having your PowerPoint and you being on it. That's where I learned that trick. It's from some old guy in the president of National Speakers Association. So, yeah. All right. So let's go around the room. Tell me. Oh, and I want to say overall, my speaking engagement total is 175 for the year. Now, I think that's doable. I think it's probably could be considered a little conservative. But I wanted to make, because when I added it all up, I'm like, only 175, right? But I want you to keep track this year, ladies and gentlemen. You're not keeping track. And if you're easy to keep track in your head, you're not speaking enough, right?
Arvee, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Like Toastmasters, will that can be considered like one, like when you are participating and you are speaking in front of the group?
Yes, yes, you could count Toastmasters. Any speech that's at least a minute or longer in front of two people or more considered a speech. So in other words, if you're doing your 30-second elevator speech or self-introduction, no, that doesn't count. But anytime it's a minute or more in front of two or more people, then absolutely that's a speech. Okay, so Ruben, yes, you can count those. And I know, Jason, you're doing a lot of presentations for colleges and all of that. Now, it's up to you if you're doing a full day event. To me, a full day event still is one speaking engagement, but you could break it down. If you have different segments like I do in my one day event, then maybe it's 4 or 5 speeches. So it's up to you how you want to count that and break it down. Every interview is a speech. Yes, Jean.
Finish your thought there. Okay. I have a question. Can you switch from doing a webinar to doing a meeting in Zoom, or is that like a whole separate meeting from each other?
It's a whole separate meeting. You can't switch in the middle of the road. So when you schedule it, you either schedule it as a webinar or you schedule it as a meeting. But if you're using like the free Zoom, then you don't have the webinar capability. That is a paid version.
Okay, I have the paid version, but I've never used the webinar. But I think, haven't you done webinar and then you bring somebody in like one at a time?
Yes, it's called panelist. And
Okay.
you can do that. Now, the advantage of a webinar over a meeting is that when you do a webinar, people cannot see the number of people in the room. So see, right now you see participants down there on the control bar, we see 9. And then you can see who they are by clicking on there, and you can see who they are. Well, in a webinar, you cannot see that. That is only for the host. So if you like only have a few people and don't want everybody to know that, oh, you have 3 people, you know, maybe do it a webinar for a while until you build up your list, you know, and then again, you can bring people in individually. I did a whole one day as a webinar. I'm doing tonight, I'm doing it as a meeting. I usually do it as a webinar. But today I'm doing it differently because I want to make sure I see everybody just like this. So there's different reasons you would do it differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Arvee, if you're doing a webinar and the people, they can't see how many people are on the webinar.
Right.
Can you see the people on the webinar, or are you just speaking to the screen and speaking to your camera and just preaching your message?
You can't see the individuals, but you can see, as the host, the names. You can see the participant names. Yes, but no, nobody, and then people can see you. If it's a Zoom meeting, people can see you. If it's a GoToWebinar meeting, then nobody can see anybody.
Oh, that's right, because it's GoTo and there's no video. But I've been on like legislative things where you don't know how many people are on the group call and the legislators are just taking questions or answering questions with the moderator. And but they can't see the people that are on the webinar.
Only their names, not
That's
the
helpful.
faces, not the faces. Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go around the room. And again, I want you to stretch a little bit as far as these speaking goals. When are you going to have an event? It's time now that it's so inexpensive in this environment, right? You could all have an event and it doesn't have to be a big event. Let's start with like a 2-hour or a half a day, right? And go from there. All right, so go ahead and take a few minutes, write down how many speaking engagements per month, what are they, how many interviews, are you going to be looking for those podcasters that are doing more and more podcasts? Are you going to do your own events? Right? Maybe you want to set one of those goals that you're going to take one of these classes in Passionately Speaking next year. Right? Jackie spoke at one. Jason spoke at one. We had Jason and Dr. Renee each tell their story on one. So set the intentions.
Does a video count as, like if you put up a Facebook Live, does that count as a speech?
Yes, absolutely. So long as it's more than 1 minute, because
In a
you've got,
mastermind group or a networking group where you get like 2 or 3 minutes to introduce.
yes, if you get 2 or 3 minutes, Benita, then yes, absolutely. It's just the regular 30 seconds that we get that doesn't really count. Because it's just your elevator speech or your self-introduction. It's not a speech. But when you get 2 or 3 minutes, then you not only do your core message or your elevator speech, but you're adding some value. And when you add that value, it becomes a speech. And again, if you're doing your ventriloquist act, that counts too. That's speaking, that counts. Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, we don't know who gets the credit, you or Ruby, but one of you get the credit.
Oh, we did one yesterday, but it was only 1 minute and 15 seconds. I guess that doesn't count.
That YouTube counts. It's more than a minute. It's more than a minute.
Yay.
That counts. But it's 2020. We're doing this for 2021.
Right.
So, and I didn't keep track of mine last year. I don't know if I hit my goal or not. I'd have to go back and track it, and I don't want to. So That's why this year I've got my big calendar up and I've got my speaking engagements on it. But I'm every month, like I do any accounting, I am going to take an accounting and assessment of how many speaking engagements I did that month. Right? So that I don't have to backtrack and try to count them up for a whole year.
But like at a mastermind where you're not sharing your core message, but you're sometimes it's putting out what you're working on and what.
No, that's not a speech. That's just a discussion. Good try. Good try. No,
You gotta take
speeches
that
are rehearsed. They're planned, they're rehearsed, right?
Gotta take that off.
All right. How's it going, Dr. Renee?
Okay, I'm good. Arvee, you want me? Oh, tell me if you want me to. Do you want me to
Yeah,
share
go
or
ahead.
just?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. So how many
So
overall?
okay, so overall, I've been doing 4 podcasts a week, so that's
Good.
16 total. That's Monday for 5 o'clock to 6.
That's a webinar.
Okay, hold on. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the morning at 7:40. So that's 16 a month times 52 is 292 per year. Then on top of that,
No, that per 52. Wait a minute.
52. Oh wait, I have 54.
Whoa. You have 16 a month times, not 52, times 12.
Times 12. 16 times 12.
Yeah.
16 times 12. So
16
that's
times 12, which is 192, just in your podcasts alone. So how many are you doing again? You said how many?
Monday at 5, from 5 to 6. Every Monday I've
Monday?
been doing that, since February.
So that's
And
4.
That's it's once a week on Mondays, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7:35 to 8
Okay, so 3
in the
more.
morning. I
three-
do
3 more per
3
week.
per week.
Okay,
And then
so that's 12. Okay, so that's 16. You're right, 16 times 12, 192.
192. And then what I want to do is the Facebook Lives, but I want to do that once a week on a schedule.
Okay.
And that would probably be about 30 minutes, maybe between 22 minutes or something.
That's
to
kind of
30.
long, hon.
Okay, what's the sweet spot? Because I've asked people, and they said,
3 to 5 minutes.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Quick hit, just a quick hit, quick tip. Think about you. Would you sit there and watch a 30-minute live?
I would. It depends, what they're talking about. If they're talking about cooking or about dogs or something that I really like needlepoint or scrapbooking, I love that, especially the cooking part. Even though I know how to cook, techniques and things like that, I love that. So I'm a different animal when it comes to that. Or if somebody's reading from their book, that's very intriguing, something like that. So, okay, so 3 to 5 minutes, I will do that. And then on February 7th, I'm going to be doing a 6-hour starting at 9:30. And that's about love and relationships. And then I am also booked for January. It's a 4-hour, January 23 and 24. That's 4 hours each day.
Beautiful.
So that's already booked. And then I'm booked for next week, Thursday, for 1 hour for a Rotary Club for a speech.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
So I'm
within
so
the
excited.
first month, you've got how many made?
1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Let's see. So that's next week. So that's the last one I'm going to do for the year. Oh no, that's the first one because it's January. That's next week, Thursday. Next week. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, but I have 2 more lined up for tomorrow that I'm going to sign off on with an agreement. So that will be good, and I'm committed to doing 4 to 5 new clients a month. So that I'm so excited about that. And then what I just learned here is that there's a thing that you can do. I just learned this from Karen, where you don't see the other people. And I think I could do a group coaching, which is a little less money for people in general, because then they don't get to see each other. Some people want to talk about relationships, but they don't want to be seen.
Right.
Their personal, like they're married or single or whatever the story is, and sometimes it's personal. So I was thinking, how do I do a group call where they don't have to see each other? So
The webinar.
yeah. So thank you,
Webinar.
Karen. Thank you, Arvee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
by the way, Arvee, I am launching my new course. It's called Love University, and I have a place to house my course. It's 8 modules. It's about love and relationships for single people and married couples. But then I'm doing another one in January. It's going to be complete by January 20th. It's Swipe Right for Mr. Right in the virtual world for single women. And the next one is Swipe Right for Mrs. Right for men. And that's joining with my book, another book for singles. And then I have a workbook for the Love at Last. The blue book that I have.
Yes.
I'm doing that with a journal and a gratitude journal and a workbook, which I'm calling that a love book instead of a workbook.
I like that love book.
Yeah, and then the blogs are going to be called Love Notes instead of a blog.
Love notes, nice.
Love Notes, yeah.
Very cool. All right, Karen is on the run.
Mhm.
Out of the garage. All right. Okay, so now you'll just take so you did January, great. So now you'll just take all that and put it down in the other months. All right. Again, this is the speaking plan. So, you could put your coaching and other stuff in there, but even if this is all you did right now for planning, now you look at it and you'll be energized. You'll go, okay, I committed to 4 speaking engagements this month. Where am I going to get them? Right? Okay, it's going to motivate you. All right, let's go to Ruben. What have you got, Ruben?
Well, I belong to 2 Toastmasters, so
Good.
I may join another Toastmasters. So that's about 40 events.
Well, how often do you get to speak at Toastmasters?
One of the average once a month, and
Once
then
a month. So
and then we get to speak about maybe 2 times a month in the same club, not like 2 to 3 minutes. That's what it's called.
Okay. So that's worth 2 speeches.
Yeah.
2 speeches. So that's 24 speeches in a year.
Yeah, and the other ones.
For the Toast.
Yeah, so I ran it up to 40. And because I'm gonna start a new, I started going to a new club, so I'm gonna be going to 3 different clubs, so to increase my participation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I joined Cheryl. What is her last name? Cheryl, the video.
Luke?
Yeah. So I'm starting the challenge, the 30 Facebook Live. So
good.
for 30 days, right? 30 days.
How often are you going to do a Facebook Live?
Once a day. So it's gonna
Once
be
a week?
Yeah, no, I think it's 30 days, once a week.
Okay,
I mean, once a day for 30 days.
All right, so that's 30 speaking engagements plus 40. That's 70 so far.
Yes. And then hopefully I'll be able to travel, because I had to postpone. I had a trip to Bolivia. So I had about 15 engagements. So that's probably I'm gonna do it this year. So that's depending on the situation. So that's hopefully I can do that within this next year. And then I have a friend who has a radio station, so he's invited me to do 2 to 3 minutes. So that will qualify, right? Like three times a week. Micro programs, like 2 inspirational programs. So that will be a huge opportunity for me. And then I would like to do 10 paid webinars. and then 20 free webinars.
You want to do what kind of webinar?
I like with SCORE, like you belong to SCORE, so I'm gonna planning doing
Oh, yeah.
a webinar like once every other month. So that will be 6 free webinars.
Beautiful. What are you going to do the webinar on?
It's about entrepreneurship, like how to
About what?
business, how to start a business, how to promote your business, how to.
Good.
So yeah, I've been doing that. So far this year I done 2.
Good.
Yeah, with the SCORE. That's just for I'm a volunteer there. Yeah.
Good. Absolutely. Very cool. Very cool, Ruben. Very
Yeah. So
All right. So how many do you have so far with those? If you did 2 scores a month, 2 scores a month, that is 24. So you had 70.
SCORE will be one every other month. You know, one.
Oh, every other month. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be 6 in the year.
All right. Beautiful.
Yeah. And then pay webinars. That's what I would like to do, like pay webinars. Start doing that. To start
And
with a
webinars
free
for
one.
yourself? For yourself, you mean?
Yeah, for leadership, about leadership.
Okay, but you want to do them, not do them for SCORE, is that right?
Yeah, not.
Okay. How big is your list?
I have 1,000, so I'm trying to increase that.
Yeah,
I would like to have by the end of the year 5,000. So
beautiful, good goal, yay, good goal. So you just have to speak more and then use some of the closes that we've talked about to get contact information. It's much harder than it used to be, much harder. You have to speak a lot more often to get the few, that you got. I did the speaking engagement I did today. I did 2 little offers, and usually, I say don't only do one, but I did one in the very beginning, which was there's 21 people on there. Well, let's say 20 because you can't count my friend who's putting it on. 20 people. I offered my book for free, PDF. I had 3 people out of the 21 asked for it, which is bad, right? At the end, I offered a calendar link to have a strategy session with me, and I got 4 of them. Now, those are the gold right there. Okay, so I built the list, and then I've got 4 potential people that I can speak to. So that's the way to do it, right? Yeah. And I too am still testing, but again, that's only 4, 5, 6 people out of 20. I mean, that's like, not even that's 2%.
Yeah.
A lot harder. I mean, if that was a live event, I would add all the business cards, So yeah. Okay, good. Good job, Ruben. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got lots of places. Make sure you write all those down and per month, please. And then you look at it. You don't just store it away. You look at it every single month.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Jackie.
Sorry, having a little trouble with my unmuting. Well, I have 3 Facebook groups, and I have not done a very good job of doing Facebook Live. So I'm going to do 1 Facebook Live in each group every week.
Okay. Now, let me just hold on a second. Why do you have to do 1 in each group? Why can't you just do 1 and share it to the other 2 groups?
Because they're real different. One is for our wellness team. They're part of our team. Another is for clients, and then my other one is for my book. So they're like,
okay, so they're different topics. Okay,
very different topics. So I would love to share all 3. Now I can share to 2 of them pretty much the same, but not the 3rd one, because that's just not going to work.
Got it.
And then I've never gotten a YouTube channel, so I'm writing down to get a YouTube channel for this year. Um, and I want to first learn more about doing podcasts, and then I'll go ahead and do that podcast. I want to teach one class a month for the community college, and then I want one speaking engagement a month. Might be at the chamber, might be a team, or it might be one that I just gather on my own. So that's a total of 14 a month. And then I just wrote down places to speak. I'm joining the California Writers Association, and I'd like to be able to speak there as I'm releasing my book. I'd like to do a podcast with Arvee Robinson.
All right, good for you.
And then my event will be a book signing in March, and I'm going to work on promoting that.
And speaking at that.
Right.
Now, is that going to be live, or are you trying to do it virtual? What are you doing?
It's going to have to be, well, I don't know. I think it's going to be hybrid, and I just need to do some more thinking about that. I want to set up appointments for people to come purchase a book and have it signed by me, but then I want to be able to do some speaking about it too. So I haven't quite figured out how to do all that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions are welcome.
Well, you could just have it be a virtual event, and then anybody that purchases it right then and there, you will sign it and mail it to them.
Well, I kind of want to be able to have them order it and bring it to me, because then you get credit for it on Amazon. You know,
okay.
as a pre-sale kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. If you're going to do, do that. Yes. But think about that, because I don't know that I would do that. I mean, personally, I just want you to sign my book and send it to me, because you live so far away. I don't think I'd buy one and drive all that way just to have you sign it.
Right. Well, that's why I thought maybe a hybrid kind of event.
Well, the hybrid is I buy it, you send it to me, sign it.
Right. But then for the local people that I would really like to see, I would like that to be in person.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe you have two of them. Maybe you have a local and then you have everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my goal is to connect with the people that I know, because my book is a faith-based book. So I want to connect with people that I know in different churches and see if I can speak in those churches. I'm sorry. I can't, I didn't turn this off. So I want to then I'm developing a talk that goes along with the book. And the goal of the talk will be that they can get the book after they've listened to the webinar, or not the webinar, the talk, whatever you want to call it.
Good. Good. So how many overall for the annual year is your goal?
How many what?
How many speaking engagements overall, your annual goal?
168.
168. Good. That's what I have. I just wanted to make sure. Awesome.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Good job. All right. Let's quick go to Karen. That's good. 168 is good. Mine's only 175. Very cool. All right, Karen.
All right, quickly. Mine's a little more simple and streamlined, just because I have two things going on in my world. So, trying to devote as much time to build this business up. I have started a weekly group. I did a presentation and with a group of females that are emerging leaders, and I had so much positive feedback that we started a weekly group. So I think that there's more to be had there, and I'd like to develop that more so that we have at least 4 new people join each month and perpetuate that. I have not been very good with my Facebook Lives, so I need to challenge myself to do those Facebook Lives and or a blog. I think there's room for both of those to do one a week, and that is doable with focus and energy. I like the webinar format, so trying to develop that into a monthly setting would be great. And I have a couple of connections with the AAUW and to do some speeches with the AAUW and another group that I network with called Polka Dot, if anybody's heard of that, Polka Dot
And
Powerhouse.
Jean's a member of that.
Yes, there's a great group out there. So they're always, and now that everything's virtual, it's made it a little more accessible to move around and do those speeches and present to a broader audience. Those are good doables. I feel like if I get too far out, I won't do it. And then if you don't do some of it, you don't do any of it. So I need to make that manageable. And those are my connections. There's our new group is called EYA, the Emerging Latino Leaders Association. So that is an exciting way to reach Latinas and get them to step up into those leadership roles and give them the tools they need to be successful in our modern day. That's it. I got 154 for the year, so I'd be happy if I got.
That is fantastic. That
So,
is great. Now,
trying to grow inch by inch, trying to grow.
That's fantastic. Be proud of that number. One of the things might help you with the Facebook Lives that I have found that helped me is that when I did my 21 speaking success principles, I wrote down all 21. And then every day I came into my office, I said, ooh, what's going to do today? I didn't have to think about it. Otherwise, it's like when you tell people, you know, tell me a joke. And all of a sudden they go, good, right?
Yeah, right.
Good. Same thing when we come in our office and go, okay, I'm going to do a live. What do I do? Good. So just map it out ahead of time. You know, whatever it is, 101 ways to whatever, and just go down the list. And it'll give you that encouragement, and it's a no-brainer. You won't even have to think about it. So
that's perfect. That is perfect. I had fun when I was doing those 21-day challenges, and that is a terrific reminder to apply that process to 21-day tips and to make it a habit, like anything, whether you're exercising or eating or speaking, we have to just keep doing that and reminding each other. So I totally appreciate that 21-day tip. That's
or 30 days or whatever it is for you. And mine went all together, but again, you don't have to do that. Just write them all down so it's a no-brainer for you. Okay, and Jackie, you could probably do the same thing to make it easier for you. And of course, on the book, then it would be a matter of every chapter, right?
Yeah, that just went through my brain as Karen was talking. So thanks, Karen.
That's why we're here, to keep inspiring each other to be amazing.
We're better together.
Okay, so Janine had to go. I'm working only once a month, radio show. Okay, well, okay. All right, so let's go to who is next. I think Jean was next, and then Jason, and then Benita. I think you were last. So Jean.
Okay, well, I'm glad you forced me into this. Mine's going to be where over the next 3 months, I'm going to roll out each section of what I do one at a time. There's 3 sections.
Okay.
So that eventually I'm doing them all each month. But the first one in January is going to focus on physical health, and that's through Melaleuca. And so I will do at least 4 overviews to introduce the company and the shopping to people, 1 customer training and 1 business training, and then a weekly weight loss group coaching.
Okay.
session. So that's 10 right there. Looks like 4 overviews, 4 weekly calls, and then a monthly customer training and a monthly business training.
So how many is that altogether per month?
10. That's 10.
Okay,
That's for January.
okay.
And then the second month, I'm going to be introducing the positive intelligence with a webinar. And then I'll be doing 4 group coaching calls that that month. So that's just going to be 5. No, I'll probably do two of those webinars to try to just get that group populated.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And those are going to overlap because the Melaleuca weight loss group and the positive intelligence, they're both 6-week programs.
Mhm.
So in March, well, let's see, no, they'll be overlapping some in both of those months. And then somewhere in there, I want to just focus on my own coaching, my Listen to Your Life Speak. And so that's my signature speech, my webinar. And I want to support that with a blog and Facebook Lives that refer to the blog. And I'm only going to commit to twice a month on those. But then that would feed into strategy sessions for coaching. And that would be on the 3 things I coach: victory in Christ, this, listen to your spirit speak, voice, listen to your soul speak, and vigor, listen to your body speak. So eventually, I think it'll be cohesive.
All right, so what is your overall goal for the year?
I think that was a little over 100 for the year. Plus I'll have the writers workshop in June.
Right.
And I'm in a book writing club. As a leader, I'll be doing a couple of webinars with that.
Okay, beautiful.
So
All right, good job.
that's a first draft.
Good, that's cool. Awesome. All right, Jason, you're up. And then Benita.
Okay, so my current total is 104 and counting. Now, 48 presentations I already had to take out because in conjunction with my presentations, WFG Transamerica gives at least business overviews once a week throughout the entire year. So that's a minimum of 48 that I'm not doing. And so if I'm promising to do 2 of my own a week, then that gave me a total of 24 for the year. So in every month, there's either 2 by WFG Transamerica and 2 by me. So that's going to keep my guests busy. But where I started off with is 36 podcasts for the year, 20 training videos. I have 18 Hive presentations, which are at a rate of a little bit about at least once a month. 18 business overviews, which is about once a month. I want to move that up to twice. And then I'm also giving 4, I'm creating 4 doodly presentations for training, which are those animated doodle video presentations that I want to create with me as a voiceover. I have 8 friends and family presentations. And with all of that, that brought the total to 104.
Very good. Very good. You know, you could up that number by doing some Facebook Lives. You know, your audience, especially your college market, are all over Facebook and Instagram. So you could reach them by doing some lives or some Instagram TV.
That's a very important consideration. I keep hearing that a lot. And as my website and CJ and I are working on that, one of the important features is we're definitely tying that site to the Instagram posts that I'll be setting up. So, and given that you've also shared that a speaking engagement will count if it's a minute or over, then those Instagrams can come almost daily. So that would definitely boost my count. I mean, we're looking at 300. If we did, if I did half even a year, that's an extra, that's another 150. If I just did 50% out of the whole year. So that would boost the count up to 254 if I just did it half a year.
Whoa, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great call. I'll definitely give that a lot of consideration.
Okay.
I promise that.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Excellent. All right, let's get a Benita. You're muted.
I had 6 this month when I didn't have a plan like this. So anyway, and one of them was emceeing a talent show, so I counted it. And one was I actually interviewed someone, so I counted that. But okay, here's what I have for next year. 2 a month at places like Toastmasters and Speakers Academy. They probably, and 1 a week on Facebook. And I'm thinking I'm going to start posting those on YouTube. I kept waiting for, I don't have a thumbnail and a design and all that, but I have all these videos I could be posting and haven't because I don't have all that stuff yet.
You don't need any of that stuff.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I
just post it up. You don't need any of that stuff.
And I've been on about 1 podcast a month, video cast, really. They're video podcasts. And I've got 2 scheduled in January. So I'm going to put 2 down. And I'm almost always invited because of the puppets. And that's why I like the video ones. Although Edgar Bergen did ventriloquism on radio. Okay. So, and I'm thinking about putting together a talent show every month. I like the Emceeing. At least I'm going to collaborate with a guy in mid-January and do one. And he's one who interviewed me last week, and we had so much fun. It went an hour, and he'd like to do it every month. So I'm putting that down. And then I just put 1 down for speaking at an organization, which I haven't really been doing, but I'd like to do. So that is 1, 2, 6, 8, 10, 11. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Per month?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's beautiful. So let's say it's 11 times 12. That's 132.
And also, I want to open a TikTok channel. I tried and I haven't figured it out the last few days on my phone, but you can do 15 seconds or 60 seconds. You have to apply to get the longer one, but I want to get the 60 second and start doing some TikTok things. 3 people have suggested that to me in the month of December. When I hear it 3 times, that's a sign.
That's fine. If your audience is on TikTok.
Well, I'll have a puppet on TikTok. So I don't know. It's a lot of entertainment stuff on TikTok. I got on it enough to watch videos and people dance and sing. And I guess there's one person who opens a gift every day. Somebody sends them gifts and they open a gift on TikTok. A friend told me. I don't know. Okay. But it's more along the line of entertainment. But anyway, and then, but this NSA person said she started it several weeks ago and does it every day because she thought it wasn't her, and she's finding it valuable.
What?
And I guess table topics would count because that's 1 to 2 minutes.
Yes, it
Occasionally I
does.
get asked it.
Yes, it does. So how many all together?
Well, I have 132.
132. Now, here's an idea for you, Benita.
Uh-huh.
You know that there's a lot of virtual events happening now, and you know that there is a lot of VIP events that people are looking for different kind of entertainment. If I were you, I would hone an exact act just for this virtual world, not hit and miss. I mean, you decide on whose characters you're bringing, you bring them, you have it well rehearsed, and you have audience participation, because you know, people have done magic shows like I did at my event. They've done this, they've done that. They're running out of things to do. And I think a ventriloquist show, as long as it was polished, you know, well rehearsed, well done, well costumed, word will get out that you're like the next ticket to entertainment for VIP.
What does that kind of stuff get paid, I wonder?
Oh, honey, you don't get paid.
Oh, you don't? Huh.
Well, some get paid, some don't get paid. All right. But it depends. Like I didn't pay my magic guy because I know him and he wanted to do it for me for free. Okay. But if you did get paid, it probably would have been like something like $300.
And what do you think? A half hour? Is that long enough? Or
half an hour is long enough, but you don't do it for that. You do. I mean, if you get paid, get paid. I'm not saying don't get paid. All I'm saying is don't not do it, because it's good to get out in front of more people. The more people that know you, the more than they would hire you for a private party.
The two things that I really, really like are Emceeing, because I get the ad lib, but I love ad libbing. I actually enjoy that more than scripted stuff. And hosting. I years ago, I had a local cable TV public access show where I interview people. And the other day, I didn't realize what it was, but the guy who had a interview of me for an hour, a few days later, it said, "Welcome to his room," or something. I don't know if it was a mistake, but I went in and he was about to interview this Sufi poet. And then he realized he double scheduled, and he said, "Benita, can you just do this?" And I said, "Sure." And I had a blast, and it took me, and he didn't know I'd ever done interviewing, but I love that two-way conversation interview. So I'm looking at how to do, I mean, that and the Emceeing where I get the ad lib. I'm looking at how can I.
Well, why don't you just start a podcast and then you can interview people?
Yeah, I would do on Zoom, a video podcast, and then I could have the puppets. In fact, I'd like to have the puppets help. They help me co-MC. They co-MC with me and pop up. So I'd like to have them help interview. I haven't experimented with that. Anyway.
Then experiment. See, you have a different talent that none of us have that can bring to the table. So use it by all means.
And the funny thing was, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go because I have a 5:30 and I got to turn on some lights and stuff in here. So if you want to come back and join me at 5:30, it is a different link. It's not this normal one, but we're just going to do what we did here, but a much higher level for them. You know, not as intimate and deep as what you and what we've all done here today. But anyway, so excuse me, I have to go. But again, have a great New Year's, and we'll see you next Tuesday. All right. Mwah.
Thank you, Arvee. This was good.
Bye.
Bye.